Hey everyone, we are taking another look at class rosters. We have a class roster here with a group of students. We've just added some gender information to this. They have their emails, email links, things that we had created from the last video. Now what we're going to do with this is show you some other fun things that can happen when you're working with rosters in Sheets. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create another column right here. And let's say you're in a classroom situation where you want to create students into 4 different groups. Say you want to have a center project or something like that, and you want to randomly assign students to different groups. What we're going to do is these are going to be, we're going to call these groups up here, groups, an A group, B group, C group, D group. It could also be 1, 2, 3. Well, let's just stay with these letter groups. Doesn't mean anything about grades or anything. It's just these are just group identifiers. Now what I'm going to show you is I'm going to press the Shift key and arrow down. This will select these 4 groups. I'm going to hover over that dot. I'm going to drag down all the way down to the last student, release, and you'll see that it has instantly created a group setting for all of the students in this. It just keeps repeating that same sequence of A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, so that they're all labeled with a group. And then you could just go through and you could say, fine, I'm going to, let's sort this by the groups, sort this range. Yes, it has header row. We want to sort the groups, and then say we want to sort them by their last name. And there we have it. Right away, you can sort the groups this way. Now there's another interesting thing I'm going to undo that. I'm going to go back to alphabetical order, the class in alphabetical order. Let's say we just select this column here. So I'm going to arrow down, go to data, and we're going to randomize range. And this creates a completely random pattern of assigning students to these various groups. So that's a pretty interesting thing that you can do. All right, so we've got this roster of information here. I would like to show you there is a way that you can filter your view, filter the view of data to see only certain things. And one of the ways is by going to the data menu, create a filter. You'll see these little drop-down arrows appear on each column. And for a column that, say, has only a few specific items in the column, for instance, this only has the 4 groups. What we can do is we can filter and we can only see group A. I'm going to hit OK, and it's going to instantly filter. You'll see that has just filtered to only show me the group A. And then we could add another filter, and you could only see the males from group A, and you would get that information there. You could also perhaps let's undo this. We're going to select all, put these back, and say we want to. This would work with a bigger data set. Let's say we want to find out there's no one in Group A who is graduating year of 2024, but perhaps 2021 and 2022, and that doesn't work either. Something is not right. What is not right? It's because I had scrolled down too far. I see. All right, let's try this again. So in case that happens, you just want to make sure that you know what row you're at, because all of a sudden I wound up off the sheet there. Okay, let's try this again. So we want to see graduating year 2021. We want to see how many women are in that graduating year, and they also happen to be both in Group A. And you see that you can't select any more groups because that's all that's available. If we were to go back here to add men and women, we would have then a larger view. So the filtering is a very helpful. Say you're working with a very large data set and you just want to see a small subset of data. The filter view is helpful. So I'm going to turn off the filter view. It's going to go back to normal. See, again, the rows were a little messed up, but we can just scroll up to the top of the page here. Now I'm going to add another column, and we're going to give this, let's say it's a quiz grade. I'd recommend making a gradebook page or a class, sort of setting it up by a roster, but on a different sheet. But for the purposes of this video, I want to do this. Let me just create this column here, and we're just going to input some random grades here. And let's see, 94 and 90 and 85. Okay, so I have a few grades here. I'm going to, this is just random. I'm just going to copy and paste these down here. Okay, that's good. Now I want to give one student a very low grade, and I want to give one student a very high grade. And now from here, I want to select select this roster. Down here in the corner, this is a Google Sheet. It's almost like an artificial intelligence. Google is wanting to analyze what you have selected. And when I click on this, it's going to come up with lots of different options. For instance, it has created some of these functions here to, I mean, it is trying to sum and average some of the date information. And of course, that's not helpful because, again, this is trying to create something just from the data that it sees. It doesn't realize that they're necessarily years. But some of the information here is pretty good. For instance, there's nice little formatting. Look how nice that looks. Perhaps you'd like to do something like that. Now, this is a pivot table, which is a bit of data that you could copy from here and paste into another page of this Google Sheet file. This is showing the 4 groups and the average quiz grade for that group. Here is an analysis of, I'm not sure exactly, so the first name, ID, and quiz grade. So it's trying to incorporate the ID number as if it was some type of quiz grade also. So that's, here is another one, quiz grade versus ID. And this is not helpful at all. This pie chart is actually kind of helpful. This is giving you a real quick count of how many students are in each group that you had created. It's also possible that you can ask the Google Sheet for certain information. So we can say which full name had the lowest quiz grade. And it's going to say it was this full name, this student, George Gershwin, with a 68. Conversely, we can say which full name had the highest quiz grade. And here we go. And those were those 2 grades that I had just placed in there. What is the average quiz grade? And you can see this information goes right here. And for all of these, they always will list a formula that you could place into your Google Sheet without actually having to create it yourself. You can just place that right in there. Here's a chart view, and here's just the formula view. Whatever questions you had asked, go over here on like a little history, and you can give them a thumbs up or thumbs down depending on how well the artificial intelligence is doing in analyzing your data. Uh, when when it starts to get into more complex queries, which full name has graduation year 2022 and highest quiz grade. Yeah, and it didn't understand that question. It's giving you some list of unique values in groups, chart of distribution of groups. So some of these, if you found those interesting, you could give them a thumbs up or thumbs down. So some of these queries, like that you could ask it, it might not understand, or you might just have to keep asking it in different ways for it to understand. But nonetheless, if you wanted to just some real quick answers to some of your questions, you pop this little box open right down here, and that would definitely, at a glance, an answer that you're looking for. What other features are you looking for in a class roster on Google Sheets? Let me know in the comments. Please press the subscribe button. Please give this video a thumbs up. That gets more people to see these videos and helps the channel out. Until next time, thanks so much.